Hello, I'm John Groh. Coming up in the May 21st primary election is a crowded field of 7 candidates seeking to fill the seat of retiring Harborcreek Township Supervisor Joe Peck. There are 5 Democrats and 2 Republicans vying for this seat. The winner of the primary in each division will go on to the November 5th general election. With me is Connie Cruz, who is one of the candidates on the Democratic ticket. Before we begin, I wish to state this informational interview should not be deemed as a personal endorsement or that of the Mill Creek Board of Supervisors, of which I serve. A little background about Connie. She is a Harborcreek native and is a township zoning and code administrator. Connie is also a graduate of the Harborcreek High School, and she and her husband of 28 years have 2 sons, 1 grandson, and another one on the way at the end of May. Things are looking pretty good, I guess, Connie. Welcome to the program, Connie.
Thank you very much, John.
Thanks for being here. So let's talk about your candidacy here as a Democrat running for Harborcreek Supervisor. Why is it you are seeking the office of Harborcreek Supervisor?
Well, I believe as being a team member of the township, Harborcreek Township for 14 years. 7 of those years was Parks Coordinator, and then 7 years for Zoning Administrator and Code Enforcement.
Okay.
I believe I have the qualifications, the experience, the knowledge to move Harborcreek Township in a forward, smart growth way. So.
Okay, that's good there. We'll be getting into other things here. I know we only have 15 minutes. Of course, one of the things that's really been a hot topic here in the last year or two, maybe 3 or 4 years, is every year and annually it seems Governor Wolf is trying to get a fee for the state police. And of course, Harborcreek is not covered by local police, they have state police. What are your thoughts about this suggested fee or tax, whatever you want to call it, that the governor is suggesting? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I do.
Okay.
Currently, ideally, I do hope that this proposal does not pass. I believe this is the second time that Governor Wolf is trying to pass this proposal to mandate municipalities who do not have local police force to pay for the state police. That's a way for them to fund the state police. I don't believe that we are in a position to pay $141 per resident. With our population of 17,403 residents, we have to pay $2.45 million. We would have to double our taxes. So, Harborcreek Township only has $5 million in a budget. There's just no way we will be able to do that. So, I don't agree with that. There's other options that I think we are thinking of, and I say we a lot because I do work with the Board of Supervisors on a daily basis.
Yes.
So I think that we are looking at shared services, possibly with Lawrence Park and Wesleyville. That cost estimate is about $900,000 versus $2.45 million. Or if we would have to create our own police force, that would cost $1.5 million.
Yes.
So ideally, the solution would be to do the shared services with the other neighboring municipalities. Right. I think we have to do a little bit more gathering of facts and information to make the right decision for what is best for our residents. We have to know the number of calls that have taken place in Harborcreek, the incidents of type of incidences that have been taking place. So. Yes. We have to gather the information, gather the facts, get the residents' input. That's another reason why I'm running. I work with the residents every day, and I think we are pretty good with the township, with the current Board of Supervisors, and where we are going, where we've come from. Yes. And the only really one complaint or concern I hear from the residents is that their input wasn't considered, or they weren't aware of something. By law, in zoning, as you know, I'm the zoning administrator, so by law, we have to advertise, in the newspaper, social media-wise, we do that in the neighboring, if there's a land development, we have to notify the adjacent property owners.
Of course, yes.
But what else can we do to, make aware of what is going on in our township?
Yes.
I have said, and I'll say this again, that if I have to go down and have a cup of coffee with a resident, I will do that. If they have a concern, I will certainly do that. That's who I am, and I think that they appreciate that their input will be considered.
Okay.
So, yes.
Yeah, of course, regionalization, you mentioned that there, and that, of course, is one of the options there. So it seems that you would be open to possibly, if the numbers worked out correct. Am I correct in that understanding?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to make sure I understood that correctly, and that the viewers
Yes.
did too. Okay. Hey, just another topic here, and of course, this is sad news here. loss of businesses in Harborcreek Township. What do you attribute that to? Of course, I don't think it's the business atmosphere in Harborcreek. I think you guys are very welcoming, just in my view. What do you think is causing this here, and what do you think the remedies might be to solve it?
Great question, John.
Okay.
With the recent announcement of Sheetz closing, that was a surprise to the township. Businesses, they choose to run their business how they want.
Yes.
After they go through land development, the township is kind of out of that unless they have to do any changes, structural changes, building permits or zoning permits that they would need. So the township was not aware of the recent announcement of Sheetz closing.
Yes.
That was a surprise to us. It became a staple in Harborcreek. We as residents see that it has been busy. It's the most busy gas station in our business district.
Okay.
So it was a huge surprise for us. Kmart closing was a disappointment.
Yes.
Not really a surprise, but a disappointment that they closed.
Yeah.
You are seeing Amazon taking over the retail businesses. It's proven. It's, look at Giant Eagle, look at Walmart. You can purchase things online and pick it up that day, have your groceries delivered to you. So it's the online shopping experience that is taking over the retail.
Yes.
That doesn't really speak for the Sheetz closing. I really, we did reach out to Sheetz to try to find out exactly what happened. And, what they're telling the Township Board of Supervisors is that, the revenues was not to their expectations.
Okay.
So that was, that's
Okay.
what they had told us. So.
Okay, so they still could have been making money, just not what they projected they were going to
Correct.
make. So
Correct.
it might have been in one of
Right.
their bottom,
Right.
lower performers.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, and that's a sad situation there. Whenever you get a convenience store closing,
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
hopefully there'll be a good reuse of that. There aren't any restrictions to keep that from being reused as something else. So. Of course, the Kmart, that was a national trend going on there with the
Right.
brick and mortars.
Right.
Sadly, as
Yeah.
part of Sears, it's going
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
And it's sad. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, and exactly. It's, like I said, the Amazon is taking over. So I predict that you're going to see more restaurants coming in.
Okay.
You're going to see distribution centers for these warehouses for Amazon,
Yes.
possibly up by the I-90 corridor.
Okay.
You're going to see mom and pop shops coming back.
Yes.
Which is very exciting because that's the grassroots of our communities.
Right.
So, for example, we have a new brewer starting up, Nostrovia Brewing, who renovated in a blighted building on the corner of East Lake Road and Nagel Road. So I think you're going to see more of those. You're going to see small outlet shops. Like Sears, they closed their store, but they have a small outlet shop. So
Well, that's correct. Yes, they do. Yes. I know.
yeah, so I think you're going to see more of those. You're going to see more medical facilities. Allegheny St. Vincent Health Network
Well, yes,
just
just
did
recently opened the
East
pavilion. East Pavilion, yes,
Yeah.
I'm familiar
So,
with that. Yes, that's correct.
I just want the viewers to know, or the voters to know, that we have come a long way on our business corridor. We've done incentives to entice businesses to come there. We have the tax incentives. We make the land development review process very simple for Harborcreek developers to come in, the residents as well. I walk them through each step of the way from start to finish. And we do hear good feedback from that. So I think we're going to continue to do that if elected.
Yes. Okay. And that's something that all municipalities want to see is continued growth and to retain. We don't want to have vacant buildings. And I can tell you from Mill Creek, we don't want to have, nobody wants to
Yeah,
have them. That's
yeah.
not a good sign.
That is correct.
So maybe this is just a little tweak in what's going on in business.
Yeah,
So, I'm no
right.
business economist, but that's possibly what's going on.
Yeah.
So I wish, I hope that Harborcreek does find something for these things. Although it's not their job to do that, as we know. Government job is not to be marketing property, but making the way to allow for business to flourish.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
It doesn't mean it's a free pass on anything. It means
No.
they comply with the laws just like everybody else
Correct.
does, the
Right,
ordinances that
right.
we have in
Yeah.
place. Okay, one of the really touchy topics, and it's one it's all over Pennsylvania and not just here in Erie, but all over the United States, and that has to do with the volunteer fire departments. And this has been something that has been on the decline for many years now. I think we're down around 50,000 firefighters statewide, and that's volunteer I'm talking about. And what do you see as, are you experiencing that same thing in Harborcreek, and what have you done, and what plans you think might be out there to help that situation. It's a
Sure.
bad situation for residents.
It is. It's for everyone.
Yeah.
Nationwide, as you had mentioned. I did go and speak to the fire departments. I work with them daily. Right now, the Board of Supervisors did create a Team 237,
Okay.
which does assist the volunteer fire departments. We have 3 of them. We have a Harborcreek Fire Department, we have Brookside Fire Call, and then we have Fairfield.
Yes.
So we have 3 volunteer fire departments.
Okay.
Team 237 was created to assist the volunteer firefighters when they are unable to make a call during the day.
Yes.
It is staffed by employees of the township. When they are not doing calls, they are doing other township services for the residents.
Okay.
So that has been a great asset, I think, for our community, for the volunteer fire departments. Since the inception of that Team 237, which was in 2012, there was approximately 2,500 calls made.
Okay.
Each call, we have made each department $500 per call, approximately, meaning that it's $1.25 million that we have given back to the fire departments, back into our community by the creation of this Team 237.
Okay.
Recently, we created Echo One, which the Erie County Dispatch dissolved the East County Dispatch
Yes.
team.
Okay.
So we have created a team called Echo One.
Yes.
They are going to be soon to be ALS, which will provide paramedic services.
Right.
And that is going to be assisting the Emergicare. From my understanding, with talking with that department as well as the volunteer fire departments, they are ran just like Emergicare. They do build the fire departments as Emergicare does. My understanding, however, is Emergicare is kind of getting overwhelmed with calls. That's why we have these volunteer fire departments, these paramedics. So I think that is assisting them. The other way that I believe that we could assist them would be to help them with grants. I have successfully gotten grants for the fire departments for fire hydrant connectors, locations, Storks connectors. I even got a grant to purchase a command post for the volunteer police command.
Okay.
So there's
So
zoning.
you're working on it already then?
I've already created.
Work in progress.
Yes, yes. I worked closely with State Representative Kurt Sunny to accomplish those goals.
Yeah.
I think there's more work to do. I think zoning would also allow for possibly, we have Barron College.
Right.
Is a great asset to our community. Is there a way that the volunteer fire departments can maybe house these students for free in lieu of doing volunteer work in the fire departments?
That's a novel idea.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Okay. Well, we just have about 2 minutes left in this interview here, and of course, one of the things that you will probably know, you've heard it yourself. I can witness myself as a supervisor that the taxes. People need to know what do they get for their taxes. You know, and it's not as much. The tax amount is not as much as the school taxes are, and it's not to be blasting the school district.
Right.
No, they provide an excellent service of educating our youth.
Absolutely.
What is it that Harborcreek Township taxes? What does that pay for?
Well, a lot of people don't realize, and to be honest with you, I didn't realize until I worked in the township building.
Okay.
The township tax, you get 6 cents. The township gets 6 cents off of every dollar. The county gets 22 cents out of every dollar, and the school district gets 72 cents. The township has not raised taxes in 28 years, which is really unheard of. They have done a great job in doing that, but everything has increased. So, with the services they get 6 cents. 6 cents the township gets.
Yes.
So you get your snowplow services. We maintain the roads in the summertime.
Yes.
Stormwater runoff on the roads, not privately, of course.
Yes.
Our park system.
Right.
You get your zoning, you get your code enforcement for free.
Okay.
There's a lot of services that you get for that minimal amount of taxes that you pay for the township.
Okay.
But it's great services that we provide. So.
Okay, we've got about a minute left. Are there any closing comments that you'd like to make about why you are an excellent, what you believe would be an excellent candidate to serve as supervisor?
Well,
Give us some final thoughts.
Sure, great.
Okay.
Thank you, John. I have the knowledge and the experience. I have been part of the township team for 14 years. I know the day-to-day operations of the township. The services would not be interrupted if elected to be your next Harborcreek supervisor. I know the land use. I'll be proactive on the land use, the zoning requirements. I know all of that. I have the foresight to know that, in fact, what challenges that we are going to face soon in our community. I feel that I can make sure that our residents are a priority while we move with smart growth with commercial. So I believe I have the qualifications to be your next Harborcreek supervisor.
Okay, sounds very good. My suggestion for everybody, get out and vote. May 21st is a primary. You have a lot of candidates to choose from in Harborcreek Township. Pick one of your choosing. Get out and vote.
Hi, I'm here today interviewing Dave Ridge, who is a candidate for judge. And the purpose of our interview today is to communicate Dave's message as to why he should be elected our next judge.
Thank you,
welcome.
Janine. Appreciate
You're welcome.
it. Thank you very much. Glad you're here with me.
Thank you. Okay, so let's just start by asking, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Born and raised in Erie, Pennsylvania. My mom and dad were Tom and Laura Ridge. I grew up at 932 Colony Drive in the Erie Manor. Good working class families. People worked hard, raised their kids, kind of the old-fashioned way. Went to St. Andrew's School. I was a Spartan. Went to Cathedral Prep. Graduated in 1978, a long time ago.
Okay.
After that, I went to Allegheny College, graduated in 1982, and then to Pitt Law School in 1985. But growing up, I have so many memorable stories and thoughts growing up. I walked through the Erie Manor, the old neighborhood, a couple of weeks ago when I was going door to door, and I had a smile on my face, I think, for the entire 2.5 hours because I just had so many good memories coming back to me. My mom and dad were great parents. They taught us by example. They didn't preach. And the examples they taught were work hard, tell the truth, take care of your family, and help out the community. And that's what my brother, sister, and I learned, and I think I've tried to pass along to our kids.
I think you have. So why did you choose law as a profession?
Well, I think like a lot of people, I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I went to Rutgers for a year, had no idea what I wanted to take up there. I transferred to Allegheny College, a wonderful school, glad I went there. And I started thinking, when you get to be a junior, so what am I good at, what am I not good at? I knew I wouldn't be good at math or something like that, and my carpentry skills aren't very good. But I do enjoy reading, I do enjoy writing, and I do enjoy public speaking. Around that time too, my brother, Tom Ridge, was a practicing attorney. And I forget what summer it was, but I got to spend some time with him. I got to see what he did, what a trial attorney does. And it kind of sparked an interest because I saw when you're a trial attorney, every day is a little bit different. Every case is a little bit different. You definitely can stay motivated and you have to stay focused. So again, that junior to senior year when I realized that's what I wanted to do, I can't say to you at that time I knew for sure I wanted to be a trial attorney, but I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be self-employed, make my own way. And 33 years later, here we are.
33 years.
Yeah,
So
33 and a half.
33 and a half. So what kind of law have you practiced over those 33 years?
Everything. When I came back to Erie in 1985, I started in a general practice. I had worked in the Allegheny County District Attorney's Office my second or third year of law school as an intern, paid intern. Very good experience to help me hit the ground running. Came back, general practice, I handled everything. I handled some estates. I did a lot of domestic relations, support, custody cases. And I started right away with a lot of criminal defense cases and with a lot of civil litigation too. And over the years, I realized, again, what I liked more than some of the things I didn't like and what I was especially good at. And I would say probably over the last 20 years or so, I have concentrated quite a bit on trial work. State court, federal court, I've been in just about every courtroom, at least in Western Pennsylvania. And so it's been a little more focused, a little more concentrated. But again, over the years, after 33 years, I've handled every single type of case there is.
So that diversity is important.
I think it is important. I mean, to serve you well, because like anything else, even those other cases like domestic relations, where it's been a long time, you still learn certain lessons about courtroom situations. You certainly learn lessons about people and watching people interact with the court system. And that still can carry over into the other work, my civil and criminal work. So the lessons you learn, hopefully you always take with you and move along to the next case, you move along to the next year. But yes, it's been a very diverse background. I've enjoyed it.
Very good. Now, I know you've been involved in many community organizations over the years. Do you want to talk a little bit about those?
I have been, and that's important to me because, again, going back to the way we were raised, you take care of your family and then you help out your neighborhood and your friends. We do have a good tradition of service in my family. That is the campaign identity we have, and it's very important to me. My dad was in World War II. My brother was first Homeland Security Director. Just that's the way we were raised. And so when I came back to town, I wanted to get involved as best I could. A lot of it was with youth sports. I was, my first nonprofit job, I was commissioner of MYAA football, Mill Creek Youth Athletic Association football. Enjoyed that 5 or 6 years. I have coached Little League Baseball out in Flag, Fairview, Lake City, and Girard. I was the manager for about 6 or 7 years of the Erie Lady Lions young women's travel team. Now that was kind of easy to do because both my daughters played hockey.
That's great.
And I've also been fortunate, I still am on the Presque Isle Advisory Committee, and that's near and dear to my heart because I love Presque Isle. I've been on Trek Foundation, I've been on the Erie County Bar Association. One of my favorite charitable contributions is to help out the Erie City Mission. About 7 or 8 years ago, I let Louis Bizarro beat me up. I didn't let him. But they have that knockout homelessness event, which is just a wonderful thing Louis and his family do. And I participated in that and had a lot of fun, got in great shape, and we raised a lot of money for charity. So those are the ways I've tried to help out this community, because this community has been very good to me and my family.
So why at this point in your life run for judge?
Well, that's a good way to answer the question, because I've thought about it before and I've been asked to do it before, but it kind of just all came together. Our youngest daughter just turned 21 on Christmas Day. So I guess you're never done raising your kids, but they have moved on. They're moving on to their adult lives. And I still like what I do, but I did kind of look around and say, well, what can I do to serve more? What can I do to help out more? It would have to be in the law. I mean, that's the only thing I'm good at professionally. And I do think I have developed the skills and the experience to be a good judge. I don't want to just be judge. I want to be a judge. I want to be a very good judge. Okay. And that's important to me. And so it just kind of came together over the last several months. Talked to some good, objective friends and advisors, and talked to my wife about it. I said, let's do it. So we're going to give it our very best shot.
That's great. Okay, I don't know if people know this, but there are 5 people running for judge currently. And during a judicial election, the Erie County Bar Association conducts a survey that goes out to the entire Erie Bar, and what it does is rates all the candidates based on highly recommended, recommended, not recommended, or no opinion. Now, you have scored an unprecedented 82% in the category of highly recommended by your peers. No one in the history of the survey has ever scored so high.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
Overwhelmed, humbled, appreciative, grateful. I mean, all those are sincere emotions. There aren't too many opportunities in life when you, in a sense, get graded by your peers. Get rated. Obviously, when you put yourself into a judicial race, you know that's going to happen. And you hope you're going to do well, that's obvious. You hope you're going to do very well, but you still don't know. But when those ratings came back to me, the 82% highly recommended and the 17% recommended, I didn't know what to say except thank you. And you do say to yourself, you try to do the right thing over 33 years. You don't always succeed. None of us are perfect. None of us are saints. But when that type of rating came back, it was wonderful. And it motivated me in 2 ways. To run this election, run even harder in this election, because you got to get there first. And number 2, something I would file away, that if I do take the bench, something I'll remember every single day I take the bench, that those men and women of the Bar Association put their confidence in me. And that confidence needs to be rewarded on a day-to-day basis, and I won't forget it.
Now, the same survey also asked lawyers to rate you on 4 different judicial attributes. Those are competence, integrity, temperament, and experience. Now, once again, you outscored the competition in all 4 areas, but which of these areas are most meaningful to you?
I think in terms of the characteristics which a good judge needs to have. A good judge of common pleas, as you know, Janine, we don't make policy, we don't legislate for the bench. Our job is to apply the law which is written on a day-to-day basis, to be consistent, to be impartial, and to be respectful of the people in front of us. So to answer your question, I think that the high rating in judicial temperament meant an awful lot to me. integrity is so important to me. I mean, we all need to act with honor, and I think myself and my colleagues do. And certainly the high rating for experience is exactly what this is all about. Like we talked about before, the background I have in handling lots of different types of cases, and hopefully and apparently handling them well, I think those are the sort of factors I would want to see in a judge candidate if I was going to support he or she. So it is kind of a combination, but the integrity, the experience, temperament, and competence, of course, is important. But I view the other factors even more important if you want the difference between being a judge and being a good judge.
Now, is there anything else you want voters to know about you? The primary is May 21st,
Right.
so I would encourage everybody to vote in the primary May 21st
Right.
for Dave Ridge.
Thank you. Well, as we sit here today, I think we have 34 days to the primary. I do want voters to know that we are working very hard. We are taking nothing for granted. We were teasing before outside, but I think Erie County expects to know the candidate. I think they deserve to get to know the candidate. And one of the ways I've tried to accomplish that is the old school way. I've been going door to door. And by last count, I'm at approximately 1,000 doors knocked on just by myself. Now, the side benefit of that is I'm working off all the pierogies and the fish fries and the
Right.
bake sales I've
There you
gone to.
go.
But people have really appreciated coming to the door. Sometimes you catch them at a bad time. Sometimes people aren't really that interested, and I respect that. I would feel the same way sometimes when I'm home. But we're going to do that. We're going to keep doing that. We've had 5 events so far. 4 of the 5 have been free and open to the public. That's important to me too. I want everybody to be aboard this campaign. I think we have the 17th? There's a free meet and greet in Northeast. That's
20th.
important. On the 20th, we have a very, very low cost event at the Nova Aurora on April 30th.
Okay.
As I said, it's important that everybody from every part of this community, every walk of life, every segment of my life, come with us in my attempt to serve Erie County. And the couple events I've had, we're up on the podium, you look out, I see so many old friends, I see so many new friends. I do see people from every segment of the community, every part of the county. And again, it is inspirational, it motivates me to work even harder, and it's again something I won't forget. So I want people to know how hard I'm going to run, and if I'm elected, that I will do everything I can to be ready to serve Erie County from the first day on the job to the last.
That's it.
All right, appreciate it.
I think we're done.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
your great part of the team, and I appreciate your
Oh,
help.
thank you
Thank you.
so much.